You guys remember those old Naruto games that basically revolutionized the anime to game format? Yeah, those. Now, who remembers when Ubisoft had the rights to make a Naruto game, and they made one of the best Naruto games there were? What? You never heard of Naruto Rise of a Ninja and The Broken Bond? Honestly, I don't blame you, since these were Xbox exclusive games. It also didn't help that Rise of a Ninja came out in 2007, and there were a bunch of heavy hitters that came out that same year, like Halo 3, Super Mario Galaxy, Mario Party 8, Team Fortress 2, Call of Duty 4, Modern Warfare, Metroid Prime 3, Corruption, God of War 2, The Witcher, Portal, Pokemon Diamond and Pearl, and so many more games came out that year. It also didn't help that a week prior to Rise of a Ninja, Clash of a Ninja Revolution and Path of a Ninja released for the Wii and DS respectively. Then about 2 weeks later, Assassin's Creed dropped, and that was another Ubisoft game. Main difference with the release being, while Rise of a Ninja was Xbox 360 exclusive, Assassin's Creed was released for the Xbox, Xbox 360, PS3, and Windows. So it had a lot more outreach than Rise of a Ninja did. And with that intro out of the way, let's take a look at the past and explore the ninja world before the Storm games took hold. I should let you guys know that all footage will be used from when Koga and I recorded Rise of Ninja and The Broken Bond for this channel. Since this video will cover both Naruto Rise of Ninja and The Broken Bond, I will have timestamps in the description below in case there's any parts of the video that you guys just want to jump to. And this will have heavy spoilers for the Naruto anime, so this will be your final warning. Are you ignoring it? Good. Like all Naruto games, we get to watch the destruction of the Leaf Village. An issue with this game is that when a cutscene plays, it uses scenes from the anime. I get it since it can save costs on animation, but at the same time, it feels a little scummy since they have a good majority of character assets they can use for character cutscenes. And I will point out a few instances when they could have and should have made their own cutscenes. After watching the Nine Tails destroy the leaf, we get the anime intro on how the tailed beast is sealed in Naruto, and we get a few scenes of Naruto being a nuisance and Ruka getting at him for not taking his training seriously. I would show some of these scenes, but because a majority of these scenes are actual scenes from the anime, I don't want this video to be country restricted. After the anime scene, we finally get control of Naruto after he failed his exam to become a Genin. We walk through the academy grounds and talk to Mizuki, who tells Naruto about a secret way of passing by stealing a sealed scroll in the Hokage's manor. Naruto goes along with it, and we get to experience the parkour in this game. Such in-depth parkour. After we get the scroll, we get introduced to how races are in the game. It is a flag system where you have to reach certain points to get more time. The races are not difficult, some of them just get a little frustrating later on. When we reach the end of the race, we get introduced to how we learn jutsus in this game. When we are learning the jutsus in this game, we have to practice the hand signs before we can actually learn it. This first jutsu is of course Shadow Clone Jutsu. After learning it, we get another anime cutscene where Iruka Sensei catches Naruto, then they get ambushed by Mizuki. And Naruto learns that he has the nine-tailed fox sealed within him. When all the scenes are over, we get our first introduction to fighting in this game. The combat actually feels nice. Sometimes it can be janky, but for a fighting game from 2007, it does a nice job. We get the basic controls, we learn about combo attacks, and I think what is honestly the best selling point of this game is that we learn how to use jutsus in combat. Unlike the Storm games where you have to press the chakra charge button and the attack button to use your jutsus, this game has you actually input the jutsu you want to use and charge it, which makes your combo attacks even more important, so you have the distance needed to pull off a jutsu. After we beat Mizuki, we get the scene where Iruka Sensei graduates Naruto from the academy. We then have to make our way back to the Leaf. When we reach the gate, Lord Third tells us that there are some people that might be in need of assistance. These are similar to side quests, where you don't really need to do them, but doing them is honestly worth it. Like the board Sakura is showing, it says that there are two types of scrolls that will show up on the minimap and the map. The orange scrolls are quests and they will increase your health, while the blue scrolls are the mission scrolls and they will increase your chakra. We meet Haruka at Ichiraku's Ramen and he tells us to talk to the shop owner because there seems to be a problem. This will be one of 4 shop quests and they all have the same requirements to complete. Find ancient coins and bring them to the shop to help unlock them. There are 4 shops we have to unlock. 3 of them are very useful and the 4th one is not as useful, but unlocking it to complete its quest will give more health. So can't really complain there. The first shop is Ichiraku's Ramen, and Ichiraku will be your best friend, since you can buy ramen to heal yourself whenever you are wandering in the overworld. From his shop you can buy ramen with cash and upgrade your carrying capacity and the quality of the ramen with ancient coins. The next shop is the weapon shop, and with it you can buy kunai and unlock explosive kunai. I personally never use them in combat, but they are useful. If Ichiraku is your best friend outside of combat, then the scroll shop will be your best friend in combat, since you can equip 4 scrolls that will give you some buffs. At first the scrolls are limited, but as you play through the game you can use ancient coins to unlock more scrolls. Then later on you can use gold coins to upgrade those scrolls. The final shop is the bookstore, and this one is the least important one gameplay wise. The only thing it sells are artworks and videos, so unless you are a collector and want to see everything in the shop, it's skippable here on out. We head back to Haruka Sensei. He has us practice Shaolin Jutsu. We now get to my favorite part of the game, the ability to use our jutsus in the overworld. When we leave the academy, Moegi is waiting outside with Ebisu. She tells Naruto that Konohamaru is missing and she wants Naruto to find him. If we talk to someone who likes us, they will point us in the direction that Konohamaru is hiding. When we find him, he wants to make Naruto his master since Ebisu is a closeted perv. Naruto tells Konohamaru to meet him at the bathhouse. Oh yeah, it is this sequence from the anime. We learn and teach Konohamaru sexy jutsu and get our first lovelorn villager. These guys are weird because they will only like Naruto if he changes into a girl. Yeah. So after Naruto and Konohamaru get kicked out of the bathhouse, they are confronted by Ebisu and... Hey Ebisu! Guess what? Naruto is still a child. Once Konohamaru is freed from the likes of Ebisu, we head back to the academy and Haruka tells Naruto to tell Sakura and Sasuke to head to the training grounds because we have to meet our new sensei there. After talking to Five Heads and the Edgelord, we make our way to the training grounds to meet Kakashi, whenever he is supposed to show up.
One eternity later.
When he finally shows up, we get to throw hands with Six Head, and then Kakashi wants us to fight that guy that Itachi said wasn't worth killing. We get introduced to the substitution mechanic, and it is far better than it is in Storm 1 and 2. Just be a bit good with the timing, that's it, but very easy to use. When we beat the orphan, Kakashi tells us to get ready because he wants to throw hands also. Aight, we ball. The pink one tells us to use her shurikens, and the quiet kid in the class tells us to use our jutsus in combat. And this is how the game handled the bell exam, and when Kakashi shows up, we whoop his ass. After we pass Kakashi's test, we head back to the Leaf Village. When we get to Lord Third, he gives us our first proper ninja mission. In the anime, we would have to chase down some cats, but in this game, we have to go recover a map that was stolen from the scroll shop. This mission is mainly to introduce bandits who will show up whenever you are not in the village. They are honestly a decent way to grind cash since you can just go up and down the roads until some spawn. And after we retrieve the map, we return it to the daughter of the scroll shop owner. The next mission that Lord Third gives us has to do with the map we retrieved. This time around, we have to find out what the bandits are up to because with that map, there was a key. And with the key, there is treasure. We head back to where we picked up the map, and we can now break this wooden wall to get to the other side. Making note of this because this is the path we will be taking for the next mission. We make our way to the chest and have a fight with the bandit boss. Now I want to take a moment and say fuck you to Sakura. Part 1 Sakura is a fucking bitch. Like, for some reason, it is Naruto's fault because someone took the chest. We were fighting the boss, and Sasuke was fighting some other bandits. Sakura says she was stopping the bandits who were fleeing. Our mission was to see what the bandit leader was up to and to retrieve the chest. If there were bandits running off, we can ignore them for the most part since the mission objective was the chest. But with how she comes off, she's just blaming Naruto since, you know, he isn't fucking Sasuke. I'm going to take a moment and plug my friend Koga's video on why Sakura settled, where he gives his thoughts on why and how Sakura settled for Sasuke after the Shippuden series. So, getting that plug out there. Now we move on forward and retrieve the chest, and when we fight the new bandit leader, we beat him and Naruto wants to open the chest. But Sakura stops him since the treasure belongs to the scroll shop owner. Now I might bitch about part 1 Sakura, but I will give her points here, even though this interaction is game exclusive only. Now we take the chest back to the shop scroll owner's daughter, and she opens the treasure, revealing that's just a bunch of old scrolls that her ancestors made. Cool. History. When we go to where Kakashi is, we can start the land of Wave Arc. We make our way to where we open the path in the last mission and get jumped by some mist ninjas. Now, if YouTube was willing to not restrict these scenes, I would show them. So instead, here is my shill to say go watch the anime. We get some scenes explaining what the bridge builder is doing. We get jumped by Zabuza and we fight him while Kakashi is trapped. When we beat him, Kakashi says that we should train. Then he tells Naruto to fuck off because Naruto isn't ready. Fuck you. We wander around the forest until we meet Haku, the local femboy. We offered to help by gathering some herbs, and Haku lets Naruto know that he is, in fact, a boy. When we are done with this interaction, we head back to Kakashi and learn chakra concentration jutsu, so we can walk on walls. After learning the new jutsu, Naruto passes out and the others go on without him. When he wakes up, we climb the tree and dash through the forest until we reach the bridge. We are met with a few scenes to show the rest of Team 7 that is struggling against Zabuza and Haku. When we reach the bridge, we have 2 fights against Haku. The first one is straightforward, but the second one introduces a new mechanic that can make or break any fight you are in. Rage mode. Think of Rage mode like the Awakened state in the Storm games. Honestly, that is the best comparison I can give. Instead of charging chakra when your health is low to go into Rage mode, the meter fills up as you deal damage and fills up even more when you take damage. You won't take any damage and cannot use jutsus while in Rage mode, which honestly helps balance it out since you get a big buff to your speed and damage as is. In this fight, Haku does not have Rage mode of his own, which kinda sucks in my opinion, but it's whatever at the end of the day. After the fight, we get a long cutscene of Haku sacrificing himself to save Zabuza, and Zabuza killing his boss while a bunch of random villagers show up to run the evil organization that was holding them captive off. This is one of those moments where the anime scene makes no sense in the context of the game, because the player... as the player, we never met these people before. But, whatever. When the scene's over, we get back to the leaf, and we are finally able to sprint! At this point on the map, there are no blue scrolls to go to, just a bunch of orange scrolls. Now, the orange scroll with the red border is the one that continues the story. So, for the video, let's head that way. If you guys want to see those other quests, then check out the Rise of a Ninja playlist for that. When we approach Konohamaru and Moegi, we meet the Dick of the Sand, Gaara. Meanwhile, Lord Third is meeting with all the senseis because the tuning exams are about to start. Kakashi recommends all of Team 7 for the exam, and Iruka Sensei objects, so we have to have a test given to see if we are able to participate. Moegi gets kidnapped and we have to go save her. Naruto shows that he isn't a total idiot with how he saved Moegi, and that gives him the pass he needed to be able to participate in the tuning exams. When we go talk to Lord Third, he gives us another bandit-related mission. This time, we are supposed to do some reconnaissance, and then it looks like the bandits are leaving. Sakura throws a sleeping powder bomb at them, a few escape. So to salvage the mission, we have to catch the bandits and beat them. After the mission, there are some more orange scrolls to do, and if we go to Kakashi, we are able to start the tuning exams. When we talk to Kakashi, he tells us to head to the Forest of Death. When we head there, we get the basic rules of what the ninja will experience. As soon as we properly enter, the gang gets jumped and separated, so we have to make our way through the forest until we reach the next anime cutscene. This is when Naruto saves Sasuke from getting eaten by a giant snake. We fight Orochimaru, and this will be a small side tangent. I get why they used Orochimaru's actual design when you fight him, since he is one of the big bad villains. But when I was a kid, I remember thinking to myself, who is this guy? Why aren't we finding the person from the cutscene? Now, it would have been nice if they made a skin model for disguised Orochimaru, but I understand it's just a small little nitpick I have. So we find him a few times until he puts a 5-pronged seal onto Naruto, and when we get the cutscene of Sakura protecting a knocked out Naruto and Sasuke, we get to see her taking small steps in becoming a better character. Once all the cutscenes are done, we get control over Naruto again, and we actually are affected by the 5-pronged seal, since our health and chakra are now capped at 500. This is honestly a nice attention to detail, since this seal is supposed to be a nerf for Naruto in the anime. We make our way to the tower where the exam takes place and just have to wait for it to start. We get a cutscene of all the other fights, and we get to fight Kiba. This fight has always been a struggle for me. During my playthrough with Koga, this was one of the only times I had to use a memo clip, because going in with less max HP just hurts. It wasn't all that bad because there were only 2 rounds. I just had to use a memo clip for each round. After the fight, we get to watch some of the best fights from part 1, which is Gaara versus Rock Lee. And after all the fights, Lord Third tells everyone that passed that we have some time off to train and prepare for the next parts of the tuning exam. Once we get control over Naruto, the game wants us to talk to Kakashi to progress the story. I say use this time to do as much as you can for the side objectives, since even though our health is still capped at 500, it is just a good idea for when the seal is removed. When we talk to Kakashi, he tells Naruto he is not special and Sasuke has a better chance of winning. So he tells Naruto that the Closet Perv is going to be a sensei for training. We have a race around the Hidden Leaf until we run into Jiraiya Sensei. He flattens Zebetsu and Naruto gets him to be his new sensei. We just have to do some chores for him, like recovering a stolen research tool that he can research the female form from safer distances. Yeah, we're getting the pervy sage a telescope. He teaches Naruto how to walk on water, and after we fail a few times, he removes the 5-pronged seal, so Naruto can now properly use his chakra. The game wants us to go talk to Lord Third for a new mission. Ha, psych! He doesn't have a mission, so let's go bug Pervy Sage. Pervy Sage wants us to help one of his friends because he's in debt and Naruto is the labor payment. This is slavery, right? Yeah. When we help his friend, we head back to Jiraiya and he has us go and pick up a scroll from another one of his friends. This friend wants us to do a race around town so we can get the scroll. When we finish the race, we head back to Jiraiya, and he honestly does not care about the scroll anymore because the guy's daughter wanted to meet him. I think Jiraiya's going to go bang his friend's daughter. Well, we head back to Lord Third and give him the scroll instead, since someone should take it. We can now talk to Jiraiya and learn the summoning jutsu. Jiraiya throws Naruto in a pit with spikes, and Naruto has to summon a giant frog. After that, we are now ready for the final part of the tuning exams. However, there are side objectives available to increase max HP, so after doing those, we talk to Jiraiya in front of the tournament area. It is safe to say that this is a point of no return, since once the last part of the exam starts, you have to finish the game. So stock up on weapons, upgrades, scrolls, buy memo clips, whatever. We start the final exam by finding Neji to avenge the future wife, and after beating him, Orochimaru shows up and destroys the leaf. Gaara's sensei then drops down and tells his siblings to take him away because the operation has already begun. The ref then tells Sasuke to go after Gaara since their match is not yet done. Kakashi then tells Naruto and Sakura to go after Gaara to make sure that he is not a threat to the village. One tree sequence later, we catch up to Gaara after he already put Sakura and Sasuke on the ground, and we have 2 fights with him. Gaara then summons Shukaku. Naruto has to use his summoning jutsu to bring out the frog, and he uses transformation jutsu to turn the frog into the 9-tailed beast. Now this part was actually really neat, I really enjoyed it, but it just really feels out of place in the game. I can't really put my finger on it, but it doesn't feel right. However, after we reach Gaara, we have a few quick time events, and then we beat the game. Cool, that's it for the story. Okay, so this is Editing Crux, and I just want to point out, after the credit sequence, we get this 3 months later right here. So post-game, which really nothing happens in post-game, takes place 3 months after what just happened. And within those 3 months, it's supposed to be the events of Broken Bond, which should only take about 2 months, really. At least from what it says with the manga and the anime. But yeah, no, I just wanted to point this out. We have 3 months unaccounted for, and that's supposed to be the next game, which we'll be getting to shortly after I finish my thoughts on this game. I will admit I have not really played that many video game adaptations of an anime besides this series and some of the Storm games, so my knowledge on proper adaptations is limited. However, I think this game does a good job because it makes sure to keep all the main plot points. It feels awkward when something happens in a cutscene that does not fit well with what has happened in the game. The main suspect I can point out is after the Haku fight, when all the villagers from the Land of Waves show up and help run the criminals out of town. In the anime, this scene makes sense because Naruto and the gang interact with these villagers. However, in the game, we never meet any of these people. So when the cutscene happens and all these villagers appear, I just remember sitting there like, who the fuck are these people? That was what I thought when I was a kid and first played this game, before I ever actually watched the anime. And I feel like they could have taken some initiative to change the story a bit, to either remove the villagers entirely, or have us interact with them in the game just to have that scene make a bit more sense. So they really should have taken some liberties with changing the story beats to help the gameplay flow better with the upcoming cutscenes, especially since they're using scenes from the anime. Other than that, all major plot points in the game follows the anime pretty good. They added in the bandit missions just to kind of help build the you're playing a character that should be going on these ninja missions a lot, and these ninja missions have some importance to the village itself. For Jiraiya, we have his missions just show the type of character he is. He's a perv. He will trick other people to paying off his own debts. He's into women more than really anything else. So overall story, I think the story does a really good job. Could have added some extra missions here or there, but I think that would have added a bit more padding to the game time, which another game in this series kind of has a bit too much padding. Let's move on to the mechanics of this game. I know I touched a tiny bit on some of the mechanics as they became relevant in the story, but this will be a more in-depth area for them, or really as in-depth as I feel. At certain points in the story, you will get a memo clip. A memo clip represents an important moment in Naruto's life. When you faint in a battle, you can use a memo clip to basically get a free revive. The number of seconds on the memo clip indicates how much time you have to mash the A button. The more you mash, the more health you get back. When you use a memo clip, you can go to Lord Third and restock on them using money. Well, until the end of the game where Lord Third is now missing. Thematically, I like these because when you listen closely, you can hear either Naruto saying something or the person the memo clip represents saying something. This works well because it is Naruto calling on those memories to help him get back up and continue fighting. The more impactful the memory was, the more time you have to spam the A button to get more health. Something I really like about this game is the ability to use your jutsus in the overworld. We are able to use Shaolin Jutsu to break different levels of walls. Level 1 would break these wooden walls, while level 2 would be stone, and level 3 would be these metal walls. We would mainly use this jutsu just to open up paths or caves that are otherwise blocked off, while Sexy Jutsu allows us to get lovelorn villagers to like us. And really that's a whole can of worms, and a whole can of wrong that I would rather not get into. Combat-wise, it would invert your opponent's controls, or really just confuse them. Against the CPU, Sexy Jutsu isn't really the best, but with your friends, it's one hell of a laugh. Chakra Concentration Jutsu allows us to walk up walls and across water. In the overworld, besides climbing trees to do the tree action sequences, this is really useful for races, ramen deliveries, and sometimes hide and seek challenges because, well, who you're looking for is either high on a building or it's across a lake. Like I said earlier in the video, being able to use our jutsus outside of combat was a really nice way to feel like you were a part of the ninja world yourself. By the end of the game, there are 3 senseis you can interact with. The first being Iruka, then Kakashi, and finally Jiraiya. You're able to buy new combos, upgrade the level of your jutsus, and upgrade your overall strength. That's really all they do. You could have a match against them to test your own strength, which was a nice thing to have, but the senseis don't really add anything more than just that. Earlier I said that scrolls were your best friend in combat, and that's because they add a bit of customization with your playstyle. For me, I typically liked using Fury, which enhances damage done during Rage mode, Protection so you take less damage from combo attacks, and Defense, which lessens damage from Rage mode attacks, and finally Health Leech, so you can regain some health when you deal damage to the opponent. Now, if you're someone who finds it hard to block attacks at times, there is a scroll called Luck that has a chance to automatically block incoming attacks. If you're someone who likes to spam jutsus during combat, there are multiple scrolls to increase chakra generation rate. Those are just a few scrolls that I wanted to mention, since going through all of them would honestly take a very long while. One of the bigger aspects of this game is that no one liked Naruto. This is similar to something we see in the anime. At the start, almost no one likes him, and they are always calling him names or telling him to screw off. Something I like is that as you play the game, people start liking Naruto more. Now, besides the blue scrolls and the orange scrolls, there are also challenges that you can complete to get more people to like you. Throughout Konoha, there are villagers called the Lovelorn villagers, and I just call them the watch list, since to make them like Naruto, you have to use some level of Sexy Jutsu. You know they are Lovelorn villagers because of their clothes, but also by their angry faces. They have either 1 to 3 hearts. This indicates the level of Sexy Jutsu you need to use, and if you are below that level, they will be disappointed. Yeah, the thought of a child having to use this jutsu to get 22 grown-ass men to like you? Yeah, no, that's really fucking weird. The children around Konoha have hide-and-seek challenges for you to participate in. Konohamaru is hiding somewhere around the village, and you have to find him within the time limit. These are not necessarily hard, but if you do not know what his disguises can be, you can easily overlook him, and that's always the most frustrating. Besides the races that are part of the Orange Scroll missions, there are people around the village who will challenge you to a race, and these races will never leave the village, but that does not mean they are necessarily easy. Ramen delivery is the combination of hide and seek and the races. However, it is more like the races in all honesty, since after each delivery, time is added to the timer. The faster you make a delivery, the more time you have for the next. I apologize for the poor images on the screen. These are from the booklet that came with the game, and I had to take a photo of them on my phone. A sad thing about this game is that it has an online mode for PvP called the Forest of Death Exam. Because it is online, that means I have to have an Xbox Live account. That isn't a bad thing, but this game is 18 years old now, and I'm unsure how many people would even still be playing this game, besides maybe for speedruns. Because I don't have Xbox Live, I am unable to grab the footage to show how these tournaments would have been. But from what the booklet said, the tournament is broken up into two sections. The first section is the Forest of Death, where you just have to win 2 matches before you can enter the tower. Then you have to go through 3 more matches. From what I read online, it seems that if you do lose, you have to start from the beginning. Achievements are something that I enjoy in games. I like to see different challenges that the developers put in for those that want to 100% the games, just for those sweet gamer points. Rise of Ninja has a total of 32 achievements. 5 story achievements, you get these just by playing the game, and they're all tied to who you beat, which would be Zabuza, Haku, Kiba, Neji, and Gaara. Then there are 8 miscellaneous challenges, and these miscellaneous challenges are related to simple things that you can do while playing the game, like not taking any damage in a fight, complete the tree action sequence without touching the ground, complete 5 tree action sequences, reach the top of the Hokage mansion, beat Kakashi in a fight, and then just get 50, 75%, and 100% of the villagers to like you. Now there are 5 challenge achievements. The challenge achievements are just by completing the races, deliveries, hide and seeks, lovelorn villagers, and collecting all the ancient coins and gold coins. Then there are 14 online achievements, and these last 14 all have to do with the Forest of Death tournament. 3 of them are just reaching a certain number of points, then the rest are completing the tournament with the playable characters. So as I was grabbing screenshots of the True Achievements website to show all of the different achievements, it seems that there were 3 DLC packs for this game that are no longer available on the Microsoft Store. And these DLC packs added in 5 new characters that you could use for the Forest of Death, because each character got a Forest of Death exam achievement. And these are Choji, Tamari, Jiraiya, Sarutobi or Lord Third, and then Shikamaru. So I just wanted to make mention of these, because I feel like some people will point out that no, there are 37 achievements, but there are 32 achievements for base game and these DLC packs because they are no longer available. Personally, I would not count them towards the 100% goal, since it's kind of lame that for those that would want to 100% the game, you will never truly be able to without these DLC packs. Now that I've gone through the story, the mechanics, and the achievements of the game, I think it's time to go over some of the items that I liked and disliked about this game. Now, let's start with the things I dislike, since although I am blinded by rose-tinted glasses, there's honestly not that many complaints I have. I dislike how they rip the cutscenes straight from the anime. It feels lazy, and it honestly ruins the flow of videos and editing since I have to use still image screenshots for this video when I talk about cutscene exclusive events. I also dislike how there are no offline match achievements or Forest of Death tournament. Now there is a tournament mode you can set, but the achievement collector side of me really does not like it when there are online exclusive achievements in a game. I also dislike how there's not any type of upgrade to let us see where the ancient coins or gold coins are on the map. Now that really is just a nitpick, but it's a quality of life thing that I like, especially when I've reached the end of a game. Now, as of writing this part of the script, I know this is going to bite me in the ass to say, and as I record this, it kinda does. But I wish the game was slightly longer. Now, you guys will see what I mean in Broken Bond, but what I mean in this instance is I feel like this game would have benefited if it just went all the way through the end of Part 1 Naruto, because most Part 1 Naruto games do not have Naruto or Jiraiya searching for Lady Tsunade, and they don't have Naruto trying to get Sasuke back when he decides to leave the leaf. I know Broken Bond does have those two events in the game, and for the most part that is just the entire game. Now let's just move on to the things I like of this game, and one of the first things is the combat. It just feels right to me. I know I should not compare this game to the Storm games, but for this point I kind of have to. Substitution Jutsu is a staple evasive in any Naruto game that has action combat. You want to dodge the enemy attack? Substitution Jutsu. For me, using it in this game is so much easier than it is in Storm 1 and 2. I enjoy how you can use any jutsu you want that the character knows from the get-go in a fight. If you wanted to load the game up with a friend and just spam jutsus at each other, you can. I remember doing that a lot with my brother when I was younger. I enjoy being able to use the jutsus in the overworld because when I played this game growing up, I felt like a ninja being able to climb up walls, use Shadow Clone Jutsu. Nowadays, I still like those, but I also like being able to just, spam sexy jutsu just to fuck with the NPCs, because that's honestly kind of funny from time to time. Now, this will kind of contradict one of my dislikes, but two things can be true in this instance. Even though the game is relatively short, about, I would say, 9 hours, I really enjoyed the pacing of it, and let me explain. All the bandit missions we had during the main story were breathers for the major story sections, and stand-in missions for any filler episodes from the anime. They still fit into the overall narrative of the game because these missions related to the safety of Konoha in one way or another. They were also the ninja missions for Squad 7 to see if they were ready for the next part of the story. Doing the bandit missions were a nice way to give a breather from the main plot and to fill in for any filler sections that the anime would have had. Like at the beginning, we get to fight bandits instead of searching for cats. This game isn't perfect. There are clear corners that were cut during production, and there were reasons for that I will talk about during the Broken Bond section. The combat feels nice, the sprinting in the game is great since when you run into someone, only their upper body moves, and Naruto kind of can bash his head into the wall and get all dizzy, and I've always found that funny. And when I just want to spend a day playing a game without needing to think too much, this is a game I know I will put in. Well, that is when I decide to play on my Xbox. However, that was what younger me did. When I didn't play any of my LEGO games, I was playing this game for hours and hours on end. I can't tell you how many times I completed the story when I was younger. Even though the nostalgia wants me to rate this game like a 9 out of 10, I know realistically, for me, this game is 7 ramen bowls out of 10. It was a nice and simple game that I think paved the way for what the Storm games later became, and it's a game where I say if you have the chance or the opportunity to play it, you guys should really play this game because it's something I enjoy and I think it's something you guys will enjoy too. And also, if you had to decide between playing this game and Naruto Storm 1, I think playing this game is the better option because at least we have the Land of Waves. Before we jump into The Broken Bond, we are past the 40-minute mark of this video. And I just want to take a moment to say, if you guys made it this far, hey, thanks for watching. We are going to jump into The Broken Bond. I don't know how long that section is going to be editing or recording wise, because as of right now, I haven't recorded any audio for Broken Bond, and I haven't even put it together yet. So hopefully it's not too long. If it is, this might be as long as either one of my 100% videos for either Hacker's Memory or Cyber Sleuth. But if you guys are liking this video, hit that like button, just let me know. Comment your thoughts on Rise of a Ninja, if it's a game you guys have played or if it's something that seems interesting to you. Or you guys can just wait to comment until we talk about Broken Bond and you can tell me if my opinions on both games is wrong or my thoughts on them are correct. If you guys like it, dislike it, I don't know. It's like almost 5 in the morning while I'm recording this. I've had a lot of stuff I've had to do. So, yeah. Released in 2008, Naruto The Broken Bond started work before the first game was even released. I'm pretty sure this was one reason why the first game felt like they cut corners with the cutscenes. It was because they had some of their team working on this game. This game makes slight changes with the art style where everything has more of a watercolor feel. They also created a new lighting system so each place feels unique, and so during certain points of the story, the lighting actually matches the tone of what's going on. During production, they also wanted to make the environments feel rich and dense for exploration. I honestly did not know about this game until like late 2023, early 2024, and I didn't get my hands on it until early 2025. So when I played this game for the channel, I was mostly blind with how things were going to play out. I did play a bit beforehand, but then got burned out, which I will talk about later in the video when we reach that point of the story. Speaking of story, let's jump into it. The Broken Bond story basically covers the search for Tsunade and the Sasuke recovery mission. Those are the main two things. Anything from the manga or anime after the Sasuke recovery mission is not in this game. The game opens up with the fight between Lord Third and Orochimaru. We fight as Lord Third to get a feel for how the combat will be in this game. Between this game and the last, the combat is basically the same. There are some differences like with how the jutsus work, but we will get into that a little later since right now the jutsus will behave the same way. After some more fighting against Orochimaru, we get to move on with the story. An upgrade from the last game is that the cutscenes in this one are not from the anime, even if the lip flaps are a little off. Lord Third sacrifices himself to try and end Orochimaru, but instead just gets his arms. We now get to play as Naruto as he walks through the rubble of the leaf. We meet up with Sakura and Sasuke before heading to the Hokage's mansion for Lord Third's funeral. After it, we get to watch Sakura tell Sasuke thanks for saving her during the Sand Village attack, and Sasuke drops a bomb that Naruto saved her, not him. Naruto shows up and Kakashi follows to give the group their first mission. We get introduced to the tree action sequence of this game, and going to save those thoughts for it later. At the end of it, Sakura sets off some bomb tags and we get our first fight with Naruto. We cannot use our jutsus yet. Naruto gets knocked out and thrown into a pit. We get out and meet up with Sasuke and then find Sakura. We find the guys we fought earlier and Sasuke jumps in front of the kunai to save Naruto since the writers needed some reason to put Sasuke off screen for the next part of the game. After the fight, we get to my least favorite part of the game, the bridge sequence. Ow. We fight the renegade leader, and afterwards the adults finally show up, and Kakashi tells Naruto he will be traveling with Jiraiya for his next mission. Once Kakashi leaves, we get introduced to the friendship points and how we get stronger. It's straightforward, but you need so many friendship points to max Naruto out. Naruto complains that he does not have any cool skills like Sasuke, so Jiraiya offers to teach him a super A rank technique. We break a wall to demonstrate the Rasengan, and then move forward. Jiraiya wants to watch some women bathe, so we help this fisherman get his boat back from some bandits. After that, we learn that in this game, instead of Shadow Clone Jutsu being used to break walls, we make the Great Naruto Bridge. Continuing forward, we get to fight a bandit and finally get to use jutsus. The difference with jutsus between this game and the last is this game has an overdrive meter at the bottom of the screen. There are 3 levels to this meter. The higher the level is, the more jutsus we can use. 1 bar means we can use our first jutsu, in this instance it's Sexy Jutsu. 2 bars allow us to use Shadow Clone Jutsu, and then 3 bars will allow us to use our third jutsu, which will be the Rasengan, and later in the game, like right before the game ends, we will unlock a new special skill. After the fight, we move on and learn that we can separate Naruto from whoever we are traveling with to have an easier time with some of these puzzles. Once we make it to the hot spring town, Jiraiya finally tells Naruto what they are doing and that he needs to go to the restaurant to ask around to find out where Tsunade is. Totally not going to flirt with the women for his research. He is definitely going to stay on track. After the cutscene, we run into Shikamaru and talk to him for a bit before Jiraiya comes over and says, "Hey Naruto, that girl is hot. Be my wingman and help me get laid." That is not really what he said, but it's what he said. We have a quick spar against Shikamaru and he agrees to help us help Jiraiya get laid. We talk to the girl, and I'm going to speedrun this because she needs more and more every time we come back because this is all tutorial stuff. First, she wants some chocolate, so we have to go to the shop and buy those. Since we spend most of the game outside of Konoha, everything is consolidated into one stall when you're not in a town. Scroll-wise, we can only buy attack scrolls. We can also buy ramen, kunai, and a new item in this game, which are pills. There are 3 types of pills. Health pills to get health back, of course, chakra pills for chakra, and strength pills to get a boost in strength in combat. Health and chakra can both be used in and out of combat, while strength can only be used in combat. The girl then wants us to head into the forest to get her some flowers. This is mainly to introduce us to Shikamaru's Shadow Hand Jutsu and Shadow Possession Jutsu, which I'll talk more about both of them in the mechanics section. But for right now, Shadow Hand allows us to flick levers in hard to reach areas, and Shadow Possession gives us a safety net when we are in a trap-filled area. We get the flowers, and then she wants a pearl next. Time to learn how to fish in this game. Yeah, this game has a fish mechanic, and because it's a mechanic, we're going to talk about that later. While we make our way to the area where we learn how to fish, we learn that we can use 2 jutsus at once. In this instance, we can make the Naruto Bridge, and then have Shikamaru use Shadow Hand to go across the bridge and flick a switch. We get the pearl, head back to the girl, we give her the pearl, she accepts Jiraiya's date, we tell him, and after he heads off for the date with her, her brother shows up, and we have to fight him because of a misunderstanding. Jiraiya sets things straight, and we can head back to the inn to finally go to bed. Okay, this next section is actually kind of my favorite one in the entire game. While Naruto is in his room meditating, he gets jumped by Itachi and Kasami. We have to survive a fight with Kasami for 1 minute. After that, we jump to Sasuke overhearing 2 ninjas saying that Itachi is going after Naruto. So we get to play as Sasuke as he races to the hot spring town. We get introduced to the Chidori and how to break these stone walls. We can also use the Sharingan to basically slow down time and make it easier to get past these retracting spikes. Once we get to the hot spring town, we get to fight Itachi as Sasuke. This fight isn't necessarily hard, but it isn't really easy at the same time. The thing with some of these story fights is that they want you to use a specific jutsu to finish the fight. Like in this one, we have to use the Chidori. Itachi puts Sasuke in the meme position, and we get to see Sasuke's mind break as he relives the trauma of the Uchiha massacre. Guy Sensei makes a dynamic entry to save the day, and tells Naruto to keep an eye out for one of his dojos, and then take Sasuke back to Konoha to get him to the hospital. The next day we head to Tanzuku Town with Jiraiya, since that's where Tsunade is supposed to be. In Tanzuku Town there are minigame stalls, shops, and the dojo. I will talk about the minigame stalls and the dojo in the mechanics section of the game, so let's go talk to Kiba instead. We basically pick a fight with him and he wants us to meet him outside for a race. We head out, and near the end of the race he jumps us because we were about to win. We fight him and then decide to help him with his mission. We basically have to fight some bandits and recover a shipment of supplies for the village. Kiba's jutsus are transformation jutsu to turn himself into Akamaru, which makes no sense, but this acts as Shadow Hand, and then Beast Mimicry so we can see hidden traps. We fight the bandits and get the shipment of supplies back before heading back to Tanzuku to see what is up with Jiraiya. I will make note when I say this is around the time I got burnt out while playing the game for the first time, because I wanted to try and master all the minigames that were available. Before we can talk to Jiraiya, we are introduced to bounty hunter missions, which is one of the challenges in the game. We just go to a certain area and fight the bandits / escape prisoners, and that's it. When that's done, we can talk to Jiraiya, and he then tells Naruto he will teach him the Rasengan after we get some water balloons. Now, how do we get water balloons? We have to go to the Kingyo Sugui minigame. I don't know if I pronounced that right, I am sorry. Which is just to catch the little fish in the net. We just have to get to the top 3, which is good, it isn't timed, which is great, and we can do it as many times as we want. After we get the water balloons, we head out town and over to where Jiraiya is, and he wants Naruto to circulate his chakra to make the water balloon rotate and then pop. After doing that for a bit, Naruto passes out and we head back to town. Jiraiya then wants us to get some rubber balls from the shuriken toss booth. Same as the water balloons, just get to the top 3. The next day we head out town and go through the same process we did for the water balloons. After Naruto passes out, we head back to town and have to get some stuffed animals from Snake Smash. This is just whack-a-mole. After we get the stuffed animals, we head back to Jiraiya, who wanted to just give them to the ladies as presents. Not for training. You scumbag. The next day, we head back out to the tree area and Naruto shares a treat with Jiraiya. Pervy Sage then has Naruto practice the Rasengan on the trees. While Naruto is training, Tsunade watches him and asks him where he learned the Rasengan. They talk for a bit, Jiraiya shows up and tells her Lord Third is dead and they need a healer and a new Hokage for the village. She says no and runs off. Naruto and Jiraiya have to chase after her, but it's too late when Orochimaru is already talking to her. We get to fight Orochimaru as Jiraiya and Tsunade, and I gotta say I prefer fighting with Tsunade over Jiraiya. After we fight him, we fight Kabuto as Naruto, and when we beat him, we have to finish him off with the Rasengan to show that Naruto has, quote, unquote, mastered it. After we beat Kabuto, we get a few QuickTime events between the 3 legendary Sannin. When that's done, Tsunade agrees to go back to the Leaf and become the healer and 5th Hokage. We head to the village hospital so Tsunade can heal Sasuke and get a few scenes with Tsunade overlooking the destroyed Leaf. The next part of the story is restoring the Leaf, and to start, Naruto visits Neji. They have a flashback of the tuning exams, and after Naruto leaves, we play as Neji and he has to run around the village because paper bomb tags are hidden throughout. He reports to Lady Tsunade and she has him hunt down the person who placed the bombs with Naruto, and after running around outside the village and finding the guy and his brother, We beat them and then head back to report to Tsunade. Next up is Choji. Naruto accidentally steps on a potato chip and that starts a fight with Choji. After the fight, we play as Choji as he searches the village for the brand of potato chips he likes. He cannot find them, and Naruto joins him as he heads out to the village to the factory that makes the chips. We find out what's happening, and it turns out a rival company is using some nasty tactics to steal customers. So we take out the rival company and Choji gets his potato chips. The Choji and Neji sections were similar to the Shikamaru and Kiba sections earlier in the game, where we were just supposed to get familiar with how these characters worked both in combat and outside of combat, since they are now a part of the team roster that we can set whenever we want to leave the village. The next day, Naruto wakes up and heads to the Hokage Manor to talk to Shikamaru, since we were ordered to work under him while repairs on the village take place. This section is really just an introduction to all the different challenges that there are in the Leaf, and some of them we've basically already done. Shikamaru has Naruto run some deliveries around the Leaf, Choji has to collect supplies for the workers, and Kiba has to do some races to rewire the Leaf. Neji gets hide and seek by looking for the missing workers. After all the repairs are done, Lady Tsunade has one more mission for Naruto, Choji, and Neji. They have to leave the village to look for a master craftsman for the final repairs of the village. Once we find him and fight some bandits, we head back to the Leaf, and he sets up a massive fireworks show as celebration for the renewal of the Leaf Village. The next day, Might Guy has a bucket on his head and wants Naruto, Kiba, and Neji to head out and get some special flowers to remedy his affliction. This is mainly filler since it just opens up the next area for the main story progression. We get the flowers, head back to Guy, and help him fix his bad hair day. He also tells us that he hired a bunch of guys to fight us while we retrieve the flowers, so we could get some training done. The next story beat is the reunion of Team 7, minus Kakashi. We have to make our way to a mining village and help escort some ore back to the village. Doesn't sound hard. We head to the village and see some miners are trapped in the mine. Sasuke underperforms, so Naruto has to save them. We chase after the ninja who trapped the miners, and Sasuke is unable to win because the guy he was fighting had the second Hokage's sword, and that made his Chidori basically useless. Naruto then has to step in to beat the guy. Sasuke is back at the hospital and has nightmares about how he will never be strong enough to beat Itachi. When he wakes up, he challenges Naruto to a fight because to unlock the Mangekyo Sharingan, he will have to kill his best friend. You hear that, Naruto? You're Sasuke's best friend. During the fight, we finally get to use Rage Mode. Dude, we are almost done with this game and they finally introduce us to Rage Mode. I honestly find that to be fucking bullshit. Kakashi steps in while Naruto and Sasuke were about to kill each other and throws them at some water tanks. Sasuke thinks that he would have won because of the immediate damage done, but then looks at the back of Naruto's tank and realizes that he would have been the one who would have lost. Sasuke runs off and Kakashi tries to talk to him, but that does not work. He then runs into some of Orochimaru's henchmen who offer him power. We fight one of them, then head to the arena to fight the other two and show our strength. They tell Sasuke to meet them outside the village whenever he is ready to go. As he leaves the village, he is stopped by Sakura, who makes the entire reason he should stay be about her, and how much she loves him and how they're perfect for each other. Nothing about if he stays, they can all help him get stronger together. Just stay with me, Sasuke, because I love you! Sasuke knocks her out and leaves. When he reaches the meetup spot, there is one more fight he has to do to make sure he is the right person for Orochimaru. We get through the fight, and they give Sasuke a pill that may or may not kill him. He gets in a barrel, and we cut to the next day where Choji is in front of Naruto's place, asking for help with an assignment. Choji needs help gathering some ingredients for the pills that his family uses to boost their strength in combat. Really, we just run around the different map sections looking for the ingredients, and fight some bandits who wanted to steal the recipe for themselves. After that, we get to the Sasuke retrieval part of the anime. Lady Tsunade tells Naruto that Sasuke left the leaf and that Shikamaru will be in charge of the mission to bring him back. We meet Shikamaru and the others outside the village for one last preparation, and Sakura has Naruto make the promise of a lifetime. The full team is Naruto, Shikamaru, Choji, Neji, and Kiba. Rock Lee is still injured and Sakura would be a liability. This entire section is really drawn out in my opinion. We basically follow the same path that Sasuke did and go through the town that we did earlier for Might Guy. Our first main fight is Choji versus Jirobo, and this is where the pills from earlier come into play because as the fight goes, Choji pops more pills until he buys enough time for the others to get away. The next fight is between Neji and Kidomaru, and at the end of this fight we have to use 8 trigrams, 64 palms. Up next is Kiba versus Sakan, and to win with this fight we have to use Fang over Fang. Last of the group is Shikamaru versus Tayuya. Like Choji, we just need to buy time for Naruto to get away. Now, I didn't mention it between each fight, but we had to basically do a tree action sequence and run through entire areas fighting ninjas along the way, which really was draining and tiresome and like just recording it for the channel, and it just felt like it went on for way too long. It should have just been back-to-back fights, like tree action sequence, fight, tree action sequence, fight, not going through an entire new area. Since we're playing as Naruto, that means we are getting close to the final fight. We make our way through a few more areas until we run into Kimimaro, and we have to fight with him and then jump to Rock Lee, who is thinking about his fight against Gaara. After the flashback, we get to control Lee, who has to go through every area we just went through with the others. Totally not padding. He gets to fight Kimimaro and has to buy Naruto enough time to run ahead. One tree action sequence later, and we are right in front of the final fight of the game. Naruto thinks back on his friends and all they said when they headed out to get Sasuke. I did enjoy this fight. It does go on for a bit, but it is still a good fight. It still feels a little handholdy since when Sasuke uses his Sharingan, the game tells you, hey, use the Shadow Clone Jutsu to confuse it. We get to Demon Fox Naruto and see big damage from the Rasengan, but that allows Sasuke to go to his Curse Mark form. After a little bit more fighting, the game wants us to use the Rasengan while Sasuke is charging the Chidori. After a session of mashing A, the fight is over. We get the credits and then the post-credits scene where Tsunade tells Shikamaru, good job since no one died, and that is a true victory. And Jiraiya and Naruto decide to leave the leaf for a bit to train more so Naruto can bring Sasuke back. For the most part, the story is alright. This game has more filler than it did in the first game in my opinion. I get a lot of the filler is so you can spend more time with the other characters, which is fine. I think the issue I mainly have is the amount of back and forth with everything and wish there was some type of fast travel after you complete some of the missions. Like after we complete one of the bandit missions, or just a mission that took us far from Konoha in Rise of Ninja, a little leaf emblem would show up and you could enter it and head back to the village instantly. In this game, we never got that option, so traveling just started becoming boring and it just made the tree action sequences just feel slower than they probably already were. But if I was to focus on the story itself and not let my issues with it, like with the travel, ruin it, I think the story itself is well done since we do get to spend time with the other characters. We get to see how everyone kind of interacts with each other in dialogue, even though it's very small dialogue at times. But just getting kind of to see how Shikamaru is doing as a Chunin, how Neji kind of has basically turned over a new leaf after he lost to Naruto, how Choji is single-handedly funding an entire chip factory, and just, I don't really know about Kiba. him and Naruto still have their rivalry, I guess, but I don't know, it's just, even though I feel like some of the missions were filler and padding, I still found them to be at least a little nice, because we got to spend more time with the characters instead of just spending the entire game with just Naruto. Like, we did get to spend some time with Sakura and Sasuke in Rise of a Ninja, but those were just the bandit missions. There wasn't really any dialogue or any kind of special kind of interactions we got with them. I've started to go off script of my overall story thoughts, and the main thought I have is, although I feel a lot of the missions and objectives we got that have to do with the other characters are very much a lot of padding, I think the padding is only because of the travel, and I'll get a bit more into that during my likes and dislikes, because a lot of my issues has to do with the maps themselves. Even though I find the maps to be very beautiful to look at times, it's just the traversal is my main issue, and that kind of took away from the story itself for me. But being able to see Choji, Kiba, Neji, Shikamaru, a little bit of Sakura, but it's part 1 Sakura, and I don't like part 1 Sakura. Seeing, being able to see kind of the perspective of some of the other characters, that was a nice addition to the story. And I brought up the Storm games earlier, but I think Rise of the Ninja and Broken Bond did pave a way for a lot of what we did see in the Storm games, because I don't think if Broken Bond had the kind of the jumping to the different characters' perspectives as like a type of gameplay mechanic during the story, I don't think the Storm games, at least Storm 2, 3, and 4, because it was never in Storm 1, I don't think those games would have ever had you play as some of the other characters whenever you have to go through their perspective at any given story point. Like Rise of Ninja, we are able to use our jutsus in the overworld. This time around, our jutsus are used more for movement and puzzle solving rather than just movement. Each character we have in our party has 2 or 3 jutsus they can use in the overworld. The ninja you use will basically determine where you are able to go or what shortcuts you can unlock in the world. Naruto has Shaolin Jutsu, which is used to make bridges to get across. Sexy Jutsu is used on lovelorn villagers and only lovelorn villagers. Any other time and it will always fail. Rasengan is used to destroy small stone walls with cracks in them to try and open up paths or just to get gold coins. Shikamaru has Shadow Possession, which allows him to grab his teammates before they fall into any traps. Shadow Hand allows him to hit levers and switches that are in hard to reach areas. This is usually indicated by an orange band over the area. Kiba has Beast Mimicry, which allows you to see any hidden traps, and Transformation Jutsu, which allows Kiba to turn into Akamaru to do what Shadow Hand does. Personally, I think Kiba just takes Akamaru out of his jacket instead of turning into him, which I don't see why he would be doing Transformation Jutsu. Partial Expansion Jutsu allows Choji to grab his teammates before they fall into any traps, and Human Boulder allows him to destroy rocks and packages for potato chips. Neji has the Byakugan, of course, and this just does the same thing as Beast Mimicry. You can see hidden traps. He also has Palm Rotation, which is used to protect you from traps that fire a bunch of kunai. In this game, challenges have changed, I want to say a lot. The rewards from challenges tie more to upgrading Naruto than they did in the previous game. I will keep the challenges short with what I like and dislike about them, but for the most part, you will get friendship points. You can also get Ryus and gold coins depending on what challenge you are doing. Fishing. This challenge is straightforward. You throw a fishing line into the water and you pull the fish to the shore. If it goes right, you pull left. If it goes left, you pull right. The size of the fish you catch determines how many points you will get. This can range from 5 points to 50 points. Although fishing is pretty easy, it is also the most infuriating to me, since you could spend an entire minute pulling in a singular fish and it is only worth 5 points, or it could take a few seconds and it is worth 50 points. You also need a lot of points in order to complete some of these fishing spots to get first place for those friendship points. My main issue with fishing is just how random it actually is. There's no rhyme or reason to the difficulty of the fish versus the amount of points you get. It just kind of starts annoying me because one time I got like 10 5-point fish in a row and I needed over like 200 points. Bounty challenges are just go to this area and fight the escaped prisoners / bandits. These are just combats and they're not really difficult at all. Races will stay within the village and you have to play as Kiba. They take you around the village and some can take multiple attempts while others you can just breeze through them pretty easily. Tree action sequences are similar to how they were in the first game. My first complaint is that they put you in first person, so it takes some time to get used to the change if you played Rise of a Ninja as much as I did. I think what makes tree action sequences great at times is that even when you complete the challenge for it, you can still use it to make a lot of reuse pretty fast. However, my second complaint with them is that you have to do them every time you want to go to a different area. There's no way to skip them. While playing through the game for the channel, I started to get bored and tired because of the amount of back and forth that we had to do with these. Deliveries have you run around the village as Shikamaru. Think of these like the ramen deliveries from the previous game. You run around the village within the time limit to deliver packages to random villagers. Hide and Seek has you play as Neji to search for explosive tags hidden around the village. There is a time limit and an indicator that is the same as it was for Konohamaru in the last game. The only difference is that you don't have an audio indicator that you are close. Lovelorn villagers are the same like the last game, but instead they're a bit harder to find since you actually have to be looking at their clothing and body language. They are also just not in Konoha, they are hidden throughout the entire playable world. For collecting, we play as Choji, who needs to, again, run around the village looking for crates of food that we have to destroy. Ninja cards are special. Hidden throughout the world are these ninja cards. You interact with them and you have to fight a legendary ninja the card represents. Scrolls are basically the same. This game makes it so you can only equip 2 attack scrolls and 2 defense scrolls, but other than that, they act the same way as they did in the first game. Fun thing about how I edit these videos is as I'm editing, I keep finding new stuff about the game that I did not know about when I was initially playing. Like, on screen right now, this has to tie into both the scrolls as well as the ninja cards. Now, the ninja cards, when you beat whoever you're fighting, you get a new type of scroll, and on screen is just a GameFAQs post that lists out the ninja cards and what scroll they will give you. Now, I want to point out Cursed Mark Sasuke. It says that if you beat him, you get the Fox scroll, which allows you to fight as Demon Fox mode Naruto, which is cool. I don't have any footage of that because I tried fighting the Sasuke and good lord, he hits hard. In Tanzuku Town, there are 7 minigames that you can complete or master. If you master these minigames, you have a better chance at having the most damage output for your jutsus. First, we have Shuriken Toss. The rules are simple. You press the button that pops up on screen to build up this meter on the side. If you hit a button that has bandages on it, the meter will go down. If you hit the wrong button, the meter will go down. And if you let the timer on the button reach 0, say it with me, the meter will go down. This carnival style game is all about reaction time. If you want to scum it, you can press the Xbox button the moment something pops up to better prepare for what the next correct button input will be. In comparison, the cup game is a whole lot easier, probably the easiest of all the mini games. Well, if you are good at following things with your eyes. You get 3 lives and you can only go to the next level when you guess which cup the ball is under correctly. There's really no reason to really try and scum this one. Candy Drop is pretty straightforward. It's just Guitar Hero if you've ever played that. Hit the correct button when the candy reaches it, don't hit the nuts, and the stars will give you some extra points. Flying Fan is just throwing kunai at the fan. If you hit the fan, you get 5 points. If you hit the purple circle, you get 10 points. You have 3 shots per level, and you have to meet the minimum point requirement to go to the next level. Target Practice is just a game of darts. The closer you are to the center, the more points you get. Snake Smash is whack-a-mole. Hit the snakes to build up a combo multiplier. The highest the combo can get to is 4. It seems when you get to 100 points, you will get an extra life. If you don't hit the snake in time, it will damage you and you will lose a life, as well as losing your combo multiplier. King Yo Sukui is just a fishing game. The darker the fish, the more points you get. The higher the level, the faster the fish are. The dojo is where I would say you should be any chance you get. This is where you can practice and learn new combos and practice your jutsus without the stress of actual combat. It is also where you go to make Shikamaru, Kiba, Choji, and Neji stronger. You complete their dojo challenges, they get stronger. And all their dojo challenges have to do with specific jutsus or practicing specific combos that they have. There are a total of 46 achievements in this game. 39 of them are offline achievements and the other 7 are online achievements. Of the offline achievements, 18 of them are unlocked by completing the story mode. They are as follows: The Last Stand, Pervy Sage, Lone Shark, Brothers, Mad Scientist, New Hokage, Guy's Fan, Tsukiyomi, Hell Twins, Rock and Roll, Deadly Web, Twisted Music, Special Someone, Broken Bones, Red Sand, Green Blast, Nine Tails, and Broken Bond. So just by completing the story mode, you should get all 18 of those achievements. The next 13 are all related to the different challenges. These would be Naruto's Creed, Card Collector, Delivery Boy, Way of the Tree, World Fastest Ninja, Fisherman, Legendary Fisherman, Gifted Eye, My Taijutsu Coach, Naruto Raving Ninja, Pervy Nation, The Last Chip is the Best, and Top Dog. So just by completing all of the different challenges, the dojos, or just doing the challenges themselves, you will get all 13 of these achievements. These next 8 I call the miscellaneous achievements, and these are Path of Darkness for finding Sasuke's secret room, Seed of Evil for finding Orochimaru's secret lair, Gold Collector and Gold Digger for collecting 50% and 100% of all the gold coins, Untouchable for not taking damage in a fight, King of Iron Fist for winning a fight with a killer combo, Solo Champion for winning a tournament by yourself, and Team Champion for winning a tournament in tag team mode. Now the 7 online achievements are Don't Be Shy, which is just going into online mode, then Academy Graduate, Chunin, Genin, Jonin, and Hokage for reaching those tiers in the ranked matches of online mode. And the final achievement is Save the Trees, which is winning a fight in online mode without using substitution jutsu. I will try and keep the likes and dislikes short and sweet for this one. To start with the dislikes, although in my overall story thoughts I said I enjoyed the story. The pacing of it is something I did not enjoy, and it has to do with when we finish a mission or side quest, or just quest in general, we have to head all the way back to the village on foot. For moments when something is supposed to happen on our way back, I'm okay with that. But for a majority of missions, we get back to where we started and nothing happened on our way back. I do like exploration, but like I said with the tree action sequences, I wish the game had the little teleport thing, so when we finish what we needed to do outside the village, it just takes us to where we have to go. We don't have to go through the maze of most of these map sections. I dislike how we make Naruto stronger, not because of how it is, but because of how we get the friendship points, mainly fishing. Yeah, no, this is mainly, it has to do with fishing. I dislike fishing in this game because of how random it is with the fish. Like I said before, you could be struggling and it ends up being a small fish for 5 points, or you could easily pull it in and it's like a big fish for 50. And it's just, I don't like fishing in this game. I think it was a unnecessary addition. This is more of a mixed feelings type of thing. I like how the map areas are bigger and how we have more to explore, but the amount of traps, if you don't have the right ninja with you, then you might not be able to reach certain points, or you can't make your way across certain areas. I like the maps, I'm just not a fan of how confusing they can be at times. I also feel like when you're not doing story-centered stuff, there shouldn't be any traps set up around the maps. Like that's a major complaint I have, because sometimes I just don't want to take Neji or Kiba out. I just want to use like Shikamaru or Choji, or I just want to take Naruto by himself out. And you need Beast Mimicry or the Byakugan, because where you have to go or where you want to go, there's hidden traps. And I just feel like if you're exploring the area yourself for like the first time and there's no story-centered objective or mission objective in that area, I think the area should be clear of traps. I dislike how late in the game we get Fury Mode. I also dislike how once we get Fury Mode, everyone has access to it. It really made getting to Sasuke at the end of the game annoying, since I would have just liked to have been able to steamroll all those random mooks. But no, each one got to use Fury Mode, and it just made the fights just get drawn out even more. I am not a fan of the minigames. At least I'm not a fan with how many points we need to get to quote-unquote master them. The point amount for some of them just seemed too high, especially if we're trying to get like all the gold coins. I've sat like hours trying to do some of them, and I just haven't been able to master most. I just don't like the point amount we need for them. Okay, so this is Editing Crux, and I just remembered another dislike that I have. I dislike how long it takes for your chakra to recharge when you're in the overworld. Like it feels so slow. Like in fights, I'm okay with the chakras charge slowly, but in the overworld, they shouldn't take so long. It really gets annoying. Like you have to use the chakra pills in the overworld, and that just is idiotic with how long it takes, because you have to use your jutsus to solve a lot of these puzzles. For some of my likes, I like how we can have a team of ninjas with us when we go out. It adds a bit more customization to playstyle. If you want someone who can see traps, but you like Kaiba more than Neji, you can use him. And if you want Choji over Shikamaru for trap protection, because you might just like how Choji fights better. I like how when we finish the game, we are able to see all the gold coins on the map. There are a lot of different areas and so many gold coins that we have to collect. This makes collecting a lot easier, even if personally I have not gotten the Gold Digger achievement yet. I like how the cutscenes actually use the character models and are not ripped straight from the anime. The lip flaps could have needed some more time for the dubbing though. The art style was weird for me at first, and honestly it still kind of is, and that's mainly because of how much I've played of Rise of a Ninja. That art style just feels more right to me at times. However, I still like the art style in Broken Bond because the watercolor feel makes the environments look a lot better, and it's just kind of prettier to look at if you wanted to just kind of sit or stand out in the field or in the village and just kind of look around. Final thoughts. Overall, the story was good. I would say it's not the best. It kind of is the same as it was with Rise of a Ninja. There was a lot of filler stuff they had to put in because if they just focused on Tsunade and Sasuke, the game would have been way shorter. So I get why they had to do some extra padding in terms of story. It was enjoyable to be able to play as the other characters. I think exploration for the most part was a bit too much. I think one issue that I have with this game and the other game is there are too many gold coins. I do like how they consolidated where you need to use both gold coins and actual money to buy stuff, which gave gold coins a bit more of a reason to like go and collect them besides just upgrading stuff like it was in Rise of Ninja. But I think I just have a bit more like stuff that I dislike with the game, like the entire fishing mechanic. I feel like even though yes, fishing for the most part is optional, because that's a way you can get friendship points to make Naruto stronger, to me that feels like you have to do them if you want Naruto to be as strong as he can be. I keep jumping between, do I want to give this game a 7 out of 10 or a 6 out of 10? And I think at first I was going to say I'm going to give this a 7 out of 10, but as I was editing, I was kind of feeling like, no, I think there's more things I dislike about the game than things I like about the game. So I'm going to give this game the final score of 6 out of 10. I do enjoy it. It's just not going to be my first pick. And I know people are going to disagree with me, saying that I'm not enjoying the game the way it probably should be enjoyed. But that's the great thing about games. You can enjoy it or you don't enjoy it. You might be mad about a game. And that's kind of why I want to give this do these retrospectives, because Rise of Ninja was a game that I grew up playing a lot of, while Broken Bond wasn't really one that I knew about until, like I said in the intro section for the Broken Bond, I didn't hear about it until like 2023, 2024, and it didn't click with me as well. If I played it growing up, I probably would enjoy this game a lot more. 7 out of 10 for Rise of Ninja and 6 out of 10 for the Broken Bond gives the Ubisoft Naruto games an overall 6.5 out of 10, which I think is fitting. I understand what these games are going for with the Naruto games, and I'm going to stand by it. I think these games kind of helped pave the way for what we get with the Storm games, besides Storm 1, because that is an entirely different can of worms than the Naruto Shippuden Storm games. With that, we're going to call this episode here. If you guys have any games that you would like me to do my own like personal reviews for, it could be a big game, it could be a small game, any games that you guys find interesting and you just kind of want my dumbass thoughts on, just put them in the comments down below. As of right now, I am thinking about maybe doing a review for Dead Island and Dead Island Riptide. Going to kind of let the Dead Island 2 series finish up before I get started on a review for Dead Island 2. I'm playing Legacy of the Dark Knight in my free time, getting some footage for that, so a review for that might come out sometime later this year, just because I have some stuff coming up over the summer, so my ability to record might be hindered slightly. But yeah, just like, comment, sub, do all that good YouTube stuff, and I'll see you guys next one. Peace.